They take on the pressure. They want the pressure. They don't care if they're compared to the greats.
There's always expectations and, pressure to perform. And at the end of the day, like, we play basketball because we love it, and we've done it all our life.
The Fever are as ready as any team can be to meet the expectations, the standard, the attention that is going to be around them.
She's an incredibly hard worker. She's a high IQ player. She's a perfectionist.
Just minutes ago, Caitlin Clark made it crystal clear. She's done entertaining the noise.
And when she was asked about the pressure going into this season at media availability, she said she wouldn't want it any other way. Then you bring in the vets like DeWanna Bonner, who was flanking her there, who said she's happy to be on her team rather than chase her around.
When asked about WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes' recent comments, Clark didn't flinch, didn't fold, and certainly didn't apologize. Instead, she delivered a message with icy confidence. She's not worried. And that silence, it wasn't weakness, it was dominance.
The Fever are as ready as any team can be to meet the expectations, the standard, the attention that is going to be around them.
Clark didn't have to name names. She let her focus, her game, and her rise do the talking. While Swoopes throws shade from the sidelines, Caitlin is out here rewriting the story. Not as the next anyone, but as the first Caitlin Clark. And she just proved she's not here to seek approval. She's here to set the standard.
Caitlin Clark, she wouldn't have it any other way. Caitlin Clark wants the pressure. She invites pressure. She invites all this stuff. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Caitlin Clark's name has been dragged through the mud more times in her rookie season than most players experience in an entire career. And one of the loudest voices behind that criticism has been WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes.
And straight away, when asked about pressure, this is what Caitlin Clark had to say.
There's always expectations and, pressure to perform. And at the end of the day, like, we play basketball because we love it, and we've done it all our life. And I think just reminding ourselves of that, we understand the spotlight. We understand, people expect this team to win, and that's exactly what we want to do for our fans and for this organization. But I think me personally, like, I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, we get to show up every single night, and there's people cheering for us, and you get to play the game you love. So if there is that pressure, you do feel that pressure, I think that's just something you embrace. Like, that's always what I've tried to remind myself over the course of my career is, you just rise to the occasion because you wouldn't want it any other way.
From suggesting Clark is overrated to implying her success is due more to media favoritism than merit, Swoopes has taken every opportunity to question the rising star's place in the league. But now, after weeks of staying silent, Clark has broken through the noise. Not with a rant, not with retaliation, but with clarity. In a recent interview, when asked about Swoopes' constant criticism, Clark's response was short, powerful, and direct. "I'm not worried about what anyone says. I'm focused on playing basketball."
24 hours after the Paige Beckers coming out there and saying, stop the comparisons, stop comparing, there's no rivalry, it's just media-driven. And I mean, there is no rivalry, and it is media-driven, but every rivalry is media-driven.
That one sentence said everything. It wasn't defensive. It wasn't emotional. It was confidence in its purest form. And make no mistake, the message was received. Clark made it clear she's not here to seek validation from legends who feel threatened by her spotlight.
Like, these players take on those comparisons. These players take on that pressure. Like, Kobe Bryant wanted to be he wanted to be better than Jordan from the second they came up against each other. And I understand Caitlin and Paige are the same age.
She's not playing politics. She's playing to win. What's even more telling is how Clark has continued to rise despite the distractions. While Swoopes and others criticize from a distance, Caitlin is setting records.
Caitlin Clark has usurped Paige Beckers as by far the best player in that draft class.
She saw what to do against the Fever, and now she can apply that. She can take those lessons, but also and sprinkle in the improvement.
Filling arenas and elevating the visibility of the entire league. She's drawing fans who've never watched the WNBA before. She's inspiring a generation of young athletes. And she's doing it all without ever firing back at the noise. But with this recent response, she finally drew the line.
Obviously, Caitlin's is a dynamic player, and she just makes everyone around her better. So obviously being on this side of the ball with her is a lot more fun than guarding her, that's for sure.
And reminded everyone that greatness doesn't beg for approval. it commands it. What makes Caitlin Clark's calm, composed response even more powerful is the contrast between her silence and the volume of Sheryl Swoopes' attacks. Swoopes, once a pioneer of the WNBA and a celebrated champion, has taken repeated public shots at Clark.
They told us right to our faces with the Now You Know campaign and the Every Game is a Home Game shirts that they understand their place in the sports pecking order and they aren't apologizing for it.
Questioning her impact, downplaying her success, and even suggesting that the league is giving her preferential treatment because of her race. The comments haven't gone unnoticed. But rather than fuel the fire, Caitlin has done what she always does. Stay focused, stay humble, and let her game speak louder than any headline.
New league, new players, everybody's bigger, faster, stronger, new coverages, different kind of depth. And you know, for us as opponents, making everything as difficult as possible.
And her game has spoken volumes. While Swoopes continues to dwell on media narratives and comparisons, Clark has been out on the court breaking attendance records, selling out arenas, and putting up numbers that no rookie has touched in years.
Then there's Caitlin Clark, who said the standard is a championship, who always seems to meet or exceed the moment, as she did by shooting beyond her own logo in the Fever return to Iowa.
She's doing it all under immense pressure, carrying not only the expectations of a franchise, but also the weight of becoming the face of an entire league. That kind of pressure would break most athletes, but not Clark. She's leaned into it, thrived in it, and now with one cool-headed response, she's shown that she's not just physically elite, she's mentally unshakable. It
is great to see Caitlin still wanting that smoke. It's great to see the attitude Caitlin Clark has. And to be honest, I don't think anyone would have expected anything different from Caitlin. I don't think anyone would have seen her going at it about it in any other way. No one would have expected her to go about things in any other way.
Fans have taken notice too. Social media erupted after Clark's comments, not because she lashed out, but because she didn't need to. Supporters flooded timelines with praise for her poise, maturity, and focus. They're done listening to legends trying to protect their legacy by tearing down the next generation. And Clark's growing army of fans sees through the noise. To them, she's not a product of hype. She's the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I think, you know, if you think back to the beginning of last season, there was a lot thrown at Caitlin from day one.
And the louder the criticism gets, the clearer it becomes. Caitlin Clark doesn't need to fight for respect. She's already earned it. Now the narrative is shifting, not because Caitlin Clark is forcing it, but because her consistency has made it impossible to deny. While Sheryl Swoopes continues to stir controversy with jabs and veiled shots, Clark has steadily rewritten what it means to be a rookie in the WNBA.
Everyone in the sports world, and right now, obviously, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, currently seemingly going through the wars in terms of injury. Nobody knows what quite happened yesterday at their practice. It looked like it was banged knees. Nobody is 100% sure, and thankfully it looks like she's going to be okay. I doubt she's going to play tomorrow.
Her court awareness, shooting range, and ability to command an entire game have stunned critics and humbled doubters. And her recent practice footage, her opening performances, and her composure in interviews have all pointed to one thing. She's not cracking. She's leveling up.
JC Sheldon is Caitlin Clark's actual basketball rival, but there's just so big of a difference, and no one cares about how JC Sheldon's doing in W. She mightn't start for this tanking Connecticut team.
What's even more telling is how the league and her peers are responding. Fellow players are starting to show more public support. Coaches are praising her leadership. Commentators who once questioned her physicality are now calling her the future of the game.
Making everything as difficult as possible for her and on her and trying to wear her down. You know, when you're playing against great players, you're not going to stop them.
Meanwhile, the WNBA is seeing record-breaking ratings, and Caitlin Clark is at the center of that explosion. Not because she asked for it, but because she earned it. And yet, even in the face of all this, Clark isn't gloating. She's not throwing anyone under the bus.
And Stephanie White, a coach with experience, you know you have calming influences.
Her response to Swoopes' attacks wasn't revenge, it was restraint. She didn't bite back. She didn't name call. She just reminded the world in her own calm way that she's got one job to do. And it's not to make peace with the past. It's to own the future. And based on what we've seen, she's already doing exactly that.
They will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a seat.
Who's going to be the next face of the NBA? We don't get to decide that. The marketplace decides that. The people have chosen Caitlin Clark. It's an intangible thing, right? Yes, we can say she's a dog. Okay, there's been other dogs. Okay, she's a great shooter. There's been other great shooters. Mm-hmm. She has it. She's got the thing. We can't assign it.
There have always been the dominant teams. There's UConn. There is South Carolina. I think that the fact that Caitlin Clark started on a team that did not have mind-blowing talent existing and brought that team to a championship really says something about you as a player. And when you are ranking players, you are ranking them as an individual unit rather than a team.
Caitlin Clark is becoming the best player in the entire WNBA, not because she's white, because she's that good. She's having Larry Bird impact. She's been the driving force of the hottest team in the entire league, despite her record turnovers. Why? Because she's that good. She's legit good. She's colorblind good. She's guilt-free good. She's apolitically good.
Caitlin Clark didn't need to clap back. She didn't need to defend herself with drama or headlines. One measured response was enough to remind everyone exactly who she is: focused, fearless, and fully locked in on the game ahead. While others talk, she delivers.
1.3 million viewers on the TV rating for Caitlin Clark's preseason debut against Brazil in a blowout, sold out in front of 15,000 fans at $670 a ticket. She is the needle.
Caitlin Clark returned to Iowa yesterday. It looked like the entire state of Iowa shut down. This is what the drawing power of a real star looks like.
While critics linger in the past, Clark is building the future. Sheryl Swoopes may have tried to shake her confidence, but Caitlin just proved she's unshaken.
This team is going to break so many records this year: attendance, viewership, merch sales, all of the things.
This was a preseason WNBA game. It is unbelievable what it is Caitlin Clark does.
Whenever Caitlin Clark takes the floor, that maybe is different not only from any player in the WNBA, but from any player in basketball.
She's not here to play into narratives. She's here to create her own. And with every pass, every shot, and every calm response, she's making one thing very clear. She's not worried about anyone because she knows exactly who she is.
Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history. First triple-double in Fever history. The first player to be named WNBA Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month. First player in WNBA history with 20 or more points, 15 or more assists, and 5 or more rebounds in a game.
For whatever reason, they decide to get themselves involved, whether it is actually malintent or maybe they just want to get themselves in the headline. A lot of players got the spotlight this season because of Caitlin Clark, not to mention just overall Caitlin Clark brought millions, literally, more eyeballs to the league this season.
Pretty exciting. One of the big reasons fans flock to State Farm Arena is, of course, the Caitlin Clark effect.
The best player in America, the best shooter in America.
Watch her play. She plays at a high level.
She's going to break records nonstop for the next couple of years.
She's the only one capable of taking nothing and making it something. The WNBA was nothing before Caitlin Clark.
Y'all expect Caitlin Clark to make it. I'm sure the NBA expects Caitlin Clark to make it. When the commissioner of the league, when he comes out and says it was a great miss for women's basketball to have left Caitlin Clark off the team,